Math 155, Section 4.3. In this lecture video, let's take a look at the concept of proportions. So I thought I had some examples where we got some percent. All right. It turns out none of these examples here on the handout has any percent on it. So that's why I kind of titled this objective as proportion/fractions. Now, in the previous module, or in the previous lecture video, I kind of mentioned something about when we were converting between decimals and percents and converting between fractions with percents. I kind of did mention like any kind of fraction, okay, can actually become a percent, because the first thing we do is divide the fraction, and then once we make them into a decimal, then we can actually times 100 and then make them into a percent. So 3/4 is 0.75, which is 75%. So basically, when we're using fractions, okay, that's just another way for us to express percent without actually writing down the percent notation. So when this problem says 1/4 of students at the local community college live in the county, in other words, this 1/4 is the same as saying 25% in a way. So basically, it's saying 25% of students at the local community college live in county. If there are 2016 students enrolled, how many do not live in the county? So again, I can use a complement rule that can actually find the answer a lot quicker. 1/4 live in the county, so do not live in the county got to be the other 3/4. Okay, the other 3/4 of student does not live in the county. So because the 1/4 and the 3/4 are complement, so in that case, if I can just subtracting, all right, the 1/4 from the total, which is 1 or 100%, all right, then I can actually find this a lot quicker. So the 2016 is the total. So we take the 2016 times by 3/4. So in a way, what we are saying is, we are also basically saying take the 2016 times 3/4 is actually 75%, which is 0.75 as well. So that means I'm looking for the part. Part is equal to percent times the whole. All right. Either way, I'm going to get the same answer. So this is basically the same thing. One of them just in percent notation, one of them is in fraction notation. All right, that's why we learn how to convert between decimals, fractions, and percentage. They all means the same thing, just in different notations. So let's see, 2016 times 3/4 or times by 0.75 or 75%. That will tell me there are actually 1,112 students. Excuse me, 1,512 students does not live in the county. Okay. Now, what happened if you take the 2016 times 1/4? That will tell you the student that does not. If you take the 2016 times 1/4, that answer would be the student that does not live in the county. That does live in the county, and then take that number, subtract from the total 2016, that will still be 1512. Okay, either way will work. If 5 out of every 8 trick-or-treaters, so 5 out of 8 trick-or-treaters that came to your house last Halloween were dressed as cowboys, what proportion? So see right here, this wording proportion, okay, just another word for percentage. And see, the word proportion can actually mean fraction. Okay, it can actually mean fraction, and you know fraction can turn into some sort of decimal or percentage. So what proportion of the trick-or-treaters were not dressed as a cowboy? All right, so 5/8. All right, is cowboy. So what proportion or what fraction is not cowboy? So this is another complement rule So the total is 1 or 100% minus the 5/8 or cowboy. So that will give me the other 3/8. Okay, give me the other 3/8 of the trick-or-treaters. Okay, not dressed as a cowboy. So 3/8 is not. All right. Which of the following is the smallest? Okay, this is just basically a fraction problem. Half of 52. So back in the when we did a word problem back in the little lecture video in test 1, I mentioned the word of sometimes means multiplication, sometimes means of. The word of means multiplication when we're dealing with fraction words or percentage. So half of 52 means half times 52. A third of 78 is 1/3 times 78. 1/6 of 150. 1/6 is 1/6 of 150 means times by 150. So let's see which one is the smallest. Okay, 0.5 is half times by 52. That's 26. A third of 78. So 78 times by a third, 1/3. Because 1/3 is a repeating decimals. So I'm going to just use the fraction for now. Let me see if I can come back to it. Oh, Lord, did I freeze my calculator? I sure freezed it. I'm just going to do it on my calculator here on my desk. So if you type in 78 times parenthesis 1 divided by 3, that will be 26 as well. All right, typing 1/6 in the parenthesis times by 150, that's 25. So who is the smallest? The smallest got to be 1/6 of 150. All right. So again, these are not quite percent problem, but every one of these fractions can actually turn into a percent. Okay, and then that will be percent times the whole equal to the parts. All right, if there are 88 students in a class and 66 are seniors, what proportion of the students are not seniors? Okay, proportion means fraction. So my total number of students that are not senior got to be 88 minus 66, which is 22. 22 students are not seniors. So what proportion? That will be 22 out of the entire 88 students. Which if you put that in the calculator, you can reduce them by 11, by 22 itself. So that will actually be 1/4, I believe. 22 out of 88, which is actually 1/4 of the students are not seniors. Okay. All right. So just a kind of strange little part of this section 4.3. We were talking about percentage last time in this section, but then all of a sudden we're talking about the word proportion. It's not necessarily asking us to set the problem up as proportion. It's basically saying the word proportion can also be used as percentage. It can be used as a fraction, which those fractions can eventually turn into some sort of percent as well. Once we divide it, then times 100. Okay, that's why these proportion tie in with the percentage. All right, that will conclude this lecture video. Thank you for watching.